Hello and welcome to Time of Death. I'm Ris.
And I'm Dee.
And we are two nurses that like to talk true crime. We like to talk about cases that feature a medical professional as the perpetrator or the victim. And we like to talk about cases that have a heavy medical influence to them. So if you're new here, welcome. Put on your listening hats and let's get this show on the road.
Yeah, put on your conductor hat.
Put on your conductor hat because we're going on the choo-choo train of
Terror.
murder.
Murder. Do you know how many times it took us to do this intro? Because between me talking in my Kermit voice, Ris responding in her own Kermit voice,
Dee mouth breathing into the microphone. But I've been a good little editor and I've edited it all out.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I will.
Put it at the end.
Let us know if you want an unedited version.
We have interest in the unedited version.
Yeah, like two of your friends.
Shout out to Joe. Not just a coworker, but a friend. I hope you're doing well.
Is Joe the only one?
Yeah, he's the only one that asked. He's so sweet.
Okay, sorry, Joe. That's not going to happen yet. We can't risk releasing these.
Risk. It's
What?
entertainment. All, what is the saying? All publicity is good publicity.
No, that's not true.
That is true.
No, it's not. We cannot let these leak.
Risk. They already know we're unhinged. What do we have to hide?
All right, I'll think about it.
You know what it really is that Risk bullies me. That's what is really the tea. And why she heavily edits. And this is going to be edited out too. But I'm bullied, okay? I'm bullied. By
Moving
my
on.
baby sister.
Moving on. We're going to move on now. Who's nicer, you or me?
I think you are nicer.
What?
Yeah.
To who?
To people in general.
To you? Then
No,
you are to
you're
me.
not nice to me, but you're nice to other people. You're generally nicer to other people. And then I'm the nicer one to you.
I don't know about that.
I think that's pretty true.
Anyway, moving on. Moving on for real this time. Just a forewarning for all of you. This deals with murder of a pregnant woman and her unborn child. So if that is not for you today, then feel free to skip this episode and just see us next week for Dee's less traumatic case next week.
It's going to be pretty traumatic. I'm just being real.
What is it?
I can't tell you.
Okay. For Dee's equally traumatic. For Dee's equally traumatic
I'm
episode
just
next week.
being upfront and honest. It's going to be traumatic as well.
Maybe it'll deal with different. Yeah, that's true. So, Clarisa Figueroa.
Clarisa
Yes.
and Ris is doing the case. Interesting.
So, Clarisa is a 46-year-old Chicago resident. She used to be a CNA.
What's a Chicagoan? A Chicagoan?
Chicagoan.
Chicagoan. This is a New Yorker. New Yorker.
Chicagoer.
Texan.
Oh, Texan.
Texan. What's a Chicagoer? New Yorker.
New Yorker. Floridian.
Yeah, there's a masshole.
Masshole.
I think that's what they call
We're
themselves.
all on the East Coast. New Hampshirean.
Vermontian.
I've heard Vermonter.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like, what are you, like a weekender? Like a Vermonter? That's some rich shit.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, Vermonter. I'm identify as a Vermonter. What is a Chicagoan? A Chicagoan?
I've never heard.
Google it.
All right, let me look for all of you who are interested. A Chicagoan.
I'm right.
A Chicagoan. A Chicagoan.
Chicagoan.
A Chicagoan.
Chicagoan.
I don't know. Anyway, she's a Chicagoan. And
we just, like, probably pissed off half the states.
all right. So, Clarisa, she's a former CNA. And Clarisa really, really wanted a freaking baby. But she had her fallopian tubes tied, so it was pretty unlikely that that would ever happen again. But things happen, right, Dee?
All the time, every day.
True. So her 20-year-old son had died earlier in 2018. So this would add a new exciting chapter to her life. Side note, I read that he died of natural causes, but I'm not sure what his diagnosis or condition may have been. Clarisa also had a 24-year-old daughter who lived nearby. She was shocked initially, and then she found out the truth. Clarisa wasn't really pregnant, but nothing was going to stop Clarisa from getting her baby boy, and Desiree would help her see to that. So Clarisa is super excited. She would go on to share several updates about her pregnancy on social media. She shared photos of an ultrasound online. She posted in March 2019 a photo of the new baby's nursery and wrote that she was planning to name her baby boy Xander. Clarisa also joined a Facebook page called Help a Sister Out, which helped families who were in need obtain necessities for their expected babies or children. It was on this page that Clarisa wrote on March 5th, "Who is due in May? Where is the May mamas at?"
Red flag.
Several women responded with their May due dates, and Clarisa wrote that made her feel less alone in the comments. So right off the bat, that's like, you're
Don't
asking
share.
who's due in May?
Don't share information online. But it is a thing. They do look for bump buddies is what it's
Yeah.
called.
Oh my God, we'll get into it, but there's so much that I'll get into it because I don't want to give away what happens in the case, but there's through social media, there's this issue in this case has become more prevalent and easier to do because of social media. One member of this group was Marlene Ochoa Lopez.
A momber.
So Marlene was 19 years old. She was 8 months pregnant, and she was preparing for her baby's birth. Marlene was happily married to a man named Giovanni Lopez. They had one son already. He was 3 years old, and his name was Joshua. So Marlene is still in school at the time. She's attending Latino Youth High School in Chicago. She was a member of Adalberto Memorial United Methodist Church, and she relied on her faith community for guidance and support. Another avenue for support for Marlene was the Help a Sister Out Facebook page. She posted on the page in March that she was due May 10th, which matches up perfectly with what Clarisa's looking for. And she expressed that she needed a ton of things for her son still, like a double stroller for her toddler and the new baby. She wrote that she didn't have a job, money was tight, she was still in school, and she was willing to buy, trade, or accept any items that people may be giving away. Marlene and Clarisa connected on Marlene's post after Clarisa offered new baby boy clothes and a stroller that wasn't used, stating that they belonged to her daughter. Of course, Marlene sees this and gets excited, like, free clothes, that's awesome. And Marlene writes, "What's your location, hun?"
Oh, red flag. When you're going to exchange something with someone, go to the police station. Anytime someone wants to buy, sell, exchange, give, transaction with you, don't give them your home address.
I've sold something on Facebook Marketplace today.
Red flag.
Red flag.
But my thing is, don't let them know where you live.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they could Google a lot, but make it a little harder for them.
Or even at a neutral location, like a grocery store parking lot or something.
I like police station because the cops are right there.
That's so true.
But some things it's hard to do that with.
Yeah, that's true. Like my item today has been very hard to move.
But you could have put it downstairs. So you didn't have to come in the house.
She didn't. We brought it downstairs.
So, good.
Yeah. So Clarisa replies, "I'm on the south side of Chicago by 79th in Pulaski. If you want to wait a week, my girl has all brand new boy clothes her son never wore." And Marlene responds, "Yes, girl, that's fine. Thank you so much." Clarisa writes back, "No problem, girl. I know how it is. She was lucky to have 2 baby showers, so she just loves to spread the wealth. I'm fine with the help. Inbox me for more info, okay?" And so the two start messaging to plan a meetup date. Clarisa tried enlisting Desiree to help her kill Marlene, then steal her baby when Marlene first visited to pick up the items on April 1st, 2019. However, luckily, Desiree's boyfriend overheard them planning and threatened to call the police. He also said Desiree initially refused to partake in her mother's plan. Desiree and Clarisa reassured him, like, hey, it's just an April Fool's joke. They would never actually do that. So Marlon did come over, she got her baby clothes, and she left safely on April 1st.
That's not going to stop her.
No.
When she saw her, did she not think it was strange that she wasn't pregnant? Or was she pretending to be
She's
pregnant?
pretending to be pregnant.
So she has a belly.
I don't know. She's a heavier set woman, so I don't know if, like, she questioned it. I'm not sure if Marlon knew that Clarisa was pregnant, but Clarisa had been posting in the group. She was pregnant, so I don't know for sure that Marlon knew that she was actually pregnant, but she had just gone over there to get baby clothes. End of story. I don't know if they talked about, like, expecting babies or whatnot.
So Clarisa is the bad guy. Marilyn is the good guy.
Marlon, yeah. However, Clarisa and Desiree would get another chance, and their plan to kill Marlene and cut her baby out came to fruition less than a month later. On April 23rd, 2019, Marlene had a little time after school before she had to pick up her toddler from daycare, so she went over to Clarisa's house to pick up more baby items. But she would never make it home again, nor would she ever get to meet her baby boy. So when she got there, Desiree and Marlon sat on the couch in Clarisa's basement. Desiree was showing her photos of Clarisa's late son, who also was named Xander, when Clarisa came up from behind Marlon and began strangling her with a coaxial cable. Desiree helped overpower her by pulling Marlon's fingers off of the cable that was constricting her neck, and then Desiree left the room. After Marlon died, Clarisa cut Marlon's belly open with a butcher knife and bucket and removed her baby boy from her womb.
What a sick, freaking twisted person.
I know. So this act is called fetal abduction. It occurs when an unborn baby is kidnapped from the womb of a pregnant mother through a crude cesarean section. An article published in Minerva Forensic Medicine reports that from 1974 to 2022, there have been 36 cases of fetal abduction worldwide.
Worldwide?
Yep. Since 1987, there have been 21 cases of fetal abduction in the U.S. 19 resulted in the mother dying, and 9 resulted in the fetus dying. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children reported in September 2022 that fetal abductions make up about 6% of the total amount of reported infant abductions. In 100% of these cases, the perpetrators were female, and almost always they were older than the victim, and almost always they faked a pregnancy prior to committing the crime.
That's very, very interesting.
In
Terrifying too, but interesting.
It's interesting, but I agree, it's terrifying that happens. In 1974, the first case occurred in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, when Winifred Ransom met Margaret Sweeney, and Margaret was 8 months pregnant. Winifred befriended her and had her over for lunch one day. She ended up knocking Margaret out and performing a botched C-section. When Margaret woke back up, Winifred hit her with a helmet 20 times and then shot her 3 times. She then hid Margaret's body under the floorboards of her kitchen, and when her husband came home, she presented the baby to him, claiming it as her own. There are other notorious cases. Some are similar to Clarisa's, in which the perpetrator fakes a pregnancy and then kills. Lisa Montgomery, for example, connected with Bobby Joe Stinnett, who was an 8 months pregnant dog breeder. And Lisa connected with her online through the guise that she, too, was pregnant, and she wants a puppy coming up soon. In 2015, Ashley Wade reconnected with a childhood friend, Angelique Sutton. The two bonded over their pregnancies, and she ended up cutting out Angelique's baby girl from her womb. She said, holding her felt right, and I believed the little girl was mine. Motives for these crimes include fear of having a fake pregnancy be exposed, miscarriage and loss of custody of children, desire to have more children, desire to be a mother, desire to fortify their relationship with their significant other, fear that their significant other will get angry with them or they will lose their significant other. The number one motivator is a desire to be a mother and the desire for the baby to be their baby.
Great.
The article goes on to say that sometimes these perpetrators have such a desire to have kids and they become obsessed with the fact that they physically cannot do it. In the case of Clarisa, she had her fallopian tubes tied and she had that knowledge, okay, I physically cannot have more children. So she became hypothetically obsessed with having children.
But why target pregnant people? You know what I mean? Like, you can go,
Yeah.
and I hate to say it this way, but like, you can go and you can steal a child. Don't necessarily have to cut into someone's womb and rip out their fetus.
Well, then you think like, what? They have the number one motivator is desire to be a mother, but a lot of the time they have faked pregnancy and they want to cover that fact up. They need a
Right.
newborn baby to do
Lies on
that.
top of lies.
Dr. Gary Brucato wrote that killers who abduct fetuses are attracted to the attention associated with pregnancy. They often are overinvested in the pregnancies of others. Often they exhibit pathological lying. Dr. Brucato writes also that oftentimes they may have a personality disorder.
Yep.
So back to Clarisa's case, Desiree came back in and they wrapped Marlon's dead body in plastic before putting her body in a trash can in the garage. By this time, they realized, uh-oh, the baby isn't breathing. Clarisa and Desiree called 911, saying, help, Clarisa just had a home birth. The baby isn't breathing. So they're playing off the excuse that Clarisa gave birth. A neighbor reports seeing Clarisa run outside holding a baby, wearing a blood-stained shirt with no evidence of blood on her shorts.
See, this is the thing, too. There are changes on a woman's side that show that you just gave birth.
Exactly.
Like, physically.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are they just like, I don't get it.
So, like Dee's pointing out, she just literally gave birth. She's saying she gave birth vaginally. So it's typical that there be signs that she just gave birth, along with a pretty decent amount of blood covering her perineum, her legs, pretty much all over her bottom. The neighbor says Clarisa told her, I just had the baby and it's not breathing. EMS arrives and the first thing they notice is that the newborn baby is cyanotic, meaning his skin is blue, meaning that this baby isn't getting enough oxygen. Both Clarisa and the baby were sent to the ER at Advocate Christ Medical Center around 6:10 p.m. that night. The ER team was suspicious, of course, because Clarisa did not have any objective signs that she just gave birth, but nothing was reported by the staff or the EMS team. Oftentimes, after the perpetrator performs a fetal abduction, they try to pass the baby off as their own, and they come up with excuses like, oh my, I just went into labor so quick, like I gave birth in the shower, or maybe I gave birth in a shopping plaza parking lot, or maybe it just happened on the side of the road, like it just was out of my hands, which I'm not saying that doesn't happen. That can happen, but these excuses are just so convenient. Sometimes the partners of the perpetrators recognize that something is wrong and they report the crime, but often the truth behind these situations is uncovered at the hospital. Exams show that this new mom actually didn't just give birth, or a new mom suspiciously refuses an exam, or the baby may have a wound from the struggle of getting them out or fighting the mom.
Interesting.
Weeks pass, Marlon's baby boy remains in the NICU in critical condition, and Clarisa is treated as his mom, of course. She creates a GoFundMe asking for support for baby Xander, as she named him. Clarissa's boyfriend, Peter Bobak, shared Clarissa's GoFundMe and posted a photo of the baby and citing help from the public. Later on, we find out he helped Clarissa after the murder by cleaning the scene of the crime.
And he's posting photos in the GoFundMe, so he's clearly
he's
POS too.
Yep. Meanwhile, Marlon never picked up Joshua from daycare that day.
Oh my God.
And Giovanni, her husband, immediately reports her missing the day after she was killed. He put up missing persons posters around the neighborhood. He even hired a PI who ends up helping find Marlon's car in Clarissa's neighborhood later on. They also got tips from neighbors of Clarissa that something fishy was going on in her home, and even reported seeing Marlon at the house. Police are searching for Marlon and uncover her whereabouts on the day she went missing. On May 7th, one of Marlon's friends tells them about Marlon's participation in the Facebook group, which they looked into, and it led them right to Clarissa's door. She had been having contact with Marlon, and Marlon had picked up baby items from here in the past. So police meet Desiree, who tells police that her mom was in the hospital for issues with her legs. Then she tells them, wait, actually, no, she's a new mom. She just gave birth. They go to the hospital where Clarissa is with the baby, and they question her. Clarissa says, yes, I know Marlon, but she never came over to my house. I just know her from online. Police are like, okay, weird. And they end up subpoenaing hospital records and get DNA samples from the baby and Clarissa. Woo-hoo. These DNA results showed that Clarissa was not the mother and confirmed that Marlon and Giovanni Lopez were his parents. With the help of Giovanni and the PI, police find Marlon's car nearby Clarissa's house on May 8th. Police obtain a search warrant to search Clarissa's house on May 14th. Marlon's remains were uncovered in Clarissa's garbage in a trash bag. They found bleach and other cleaning supplies at Clarissa's house. They also found burned clothes and blood present on the carpet in the hallway and in the bathroom. Giovanni was finally reunited with his baby boy. The baby was named Giovanni Yadiel Lopez after his dad, and he kept fighting for 2 months before dying in June 2019 in his father's arms. The spokeswoman for their family said he is an angel and he's in his mom's arms now. The team caring for Giovanni gave his family a painting of angels when little Giovanni passed. The day before Marlon died, Jacobita Cortez, a pastor at Adalberto Memorial United Methodist Church, was with Marlon and her mother and saw Marlon hug her mom tightly and say, "You're the best mom in the world." Marlon's mom tells Cortez that Marlon was a very affectionate person, but that day she seemed especially loving. Giovanni Lopez, Marlon's husband, mourns his losses, stating, "The memory of my infant son's last breath in my arms is complete agony." He also shares the grief he feels knowing that their other son, Joshua, has lost his mother forever.
Oh, God.
Clarissa, Desiree, and Peter were arrested. Trial lasted 5 years. Peter was given 4 years in prison after pleading guilty to obstruction of justice. He was given credit for the 3 years and 8 months he had previously spent in jail. He was released in 2023 on parole.
God.
Giovanni Lopez was in the courtroom when it was decided to release him. His victim impact statement read, "Your punishment will never be enough because my son will never be able to hug his mother ever." Marlon's mother, Raquel I don't know if I'm saying this right, Uriostegwi's statement was also shared. "The loss of my daughter's life is something I will never overcome." Desiree agreed to testify against her mother and was sentenced to 30 years in prison after pleading guilty to murder. And Clarissa was sentenced to 50 years in prison after pleading guilty to murder.
I'm glad they got the book thrown at them, but he should have been in prison longer than being already out for a year.
They should have all been given life without possibility of parole.
That made me cry.
Yeah. This is sad. This was a heavy case.
Very sad.
Yeah.
It's like doubly horrible.
Some of the babies survive. Some even of the mothers survive, and they're able to tell, of course, police who attacked them. But a lot of the time,
tough.
they die as a result. Yeah. Marlon was like just about to give birth. She was murdered on the 23rd of April, and she died, and she was due on May 10th. So she was just a couple weeks shy of giving birth. And it's just so, the fact that these perpetrators feel entitled to someone else's baby. Like
I tell you right now, those 3 scum, they deserve 1,000 times worse punishment than what they got.
People who commit these crimes feel that they can take through murder, through force. They can have, it's just a sense of, like you said, entitlement and complete disregard for other people, their autonomy. It's so, I can't believe that this is a thing. But
do this to a pregnant person.
Yeah.
Like, never mind a baby. Let's not even get into doing that to a fetus. But a pregnant person, like, we're not, like, that's vulnerable population.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, if I was pregnant, someone tried to take my kid, I think I would be in the camp that, like, just don't hurt the kid. You know what I mean? That's might have been what some moms do, or like, you know what? Do what you're going to do to me, but don't hurt my kid.
It's shocking to the fetus when you immediately, kill its source of nutrient, of protection, of oxygenation, and you just quite literally steal the baby from their home for the less than 9 months, because they're not full term at this point.
It's a trauma.
But it's just a traumatic. And I can't imagine, having my significant other have gone through something like that and having children and having to tell them, oh, your mom died because someone was so hateful and jealous of the baby inside her. Just horrible. But anyway, that's the case tonight. Thank you all for listening.
Absolutely. And if I said it once, I say it again. You see something weird, say something.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, a big message should be, too, like, we need to really, like, do what we can do to help keep pregnant people safe, pregnant women safe. I mean, we need to keep women safe in general, but pregnant women especially, I think, too. And children. That's a really good point, Mom. Because children are just as, this baby's even more vulnerable than this poor mom. And I hope that they get what's coming to them.
And also, like, educating healthcare staff, because they have such an important role in identifying, like the article points out, in identifying cases where something's suspicious. Like,
it's not right.
The ER team was suspicious. She didn't exhibit any signs of having just given birth. Like, this should have been something that's reportable.
Oh, it absolutely should have. Because someone tells me something doesn't mean I believe it.
Yeah.
You could tell me, Dee, sky is purple. I'm still gonna look.
Dee, that sky's actually purple right now.
No, it's not.
You didn't.
I told you once, I told you again, I want no more baby cases.
My bad.
My heart can't handle it.
It was a fetus case.
Same thing.
Actually, you know what? When I started this case, I did not know that she was a former CNA. Just worked out in my favor.
Stretching it real thin, Ris. All right, this really took the wind out of my sails for the night.
All right, we're going to call it then so you can get some rest.
I cried.
I know. I teared up a little too. It's very sad.
Very sad. Poor.
So the time is 19:30. That is 7:30 p.m. for those of you who do not use military time. Right, Dee?
Righto.
Don't you think they should probably learn military time?
No, do what you want.
In your experience, is it that hard to learn?
No, it's not necessary.
To know or to learn?
To learn.
It's not necessary to learn.
Just
So-
get an app.
Do you know military time, D?
Yeah, you do plus 12.
Yeah, that's what you do. All right, everyone. Good night.
Good night, all. Farewell. Stay safe.
Stay safe, please.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
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 Stop.
Bye.
Why?
Bye. Bye. Bye.